Welcome, word scholars, to this explainer. Today, we're not just staring at a boring list of terms, we're actually going on a quest. Think of it like a game where you're starting out with exactly 20 hit points. We're heading into the dungeon of lost words, and our weapons? They aren't swords or shields. They're academic English language arts terms. Knowledge is literally your armor here, so let's gear up and survive this literary labyrinth together.
Here's our quest map for today. First, we'll equip literary elements as weapons. Second, we'll dabble in poetry and root magic. Third, surviving the chamber riddles. And finally, the final boss battle. So, picture this. The dungeon's heavy iron doors swing open with a massive groan. Ancient runes are faintly glowing on the cold stone walls around you. Down here, gold is completely useless. Knowledge is your only currency. Oh, and you gotta keep your wits about you, because in this campaign, a wrong answer will cost you 5 of those precious hit points. Pay close attention. Let's step inside.
Section 1. Literary elements as weapons.
Okay, let's dive into this. To survive the trials ahead, you really need to understand the absolute basics of a story. These literary elements are the weapons we're going to use to dissect and conquer any narrative we run into. Now, every great quest needs a hero, right? That's your protagonist. They are the central character driving the action and facing the biggest obstacles. Contrast that with the antagonist, the force that's pushing back against them. Without a protagonist making moves, we literally wouldn't have a story.
And here is the path that protagonist has to walk. We call it the plot sequence. We kick things off with the exposition, just setting the scene. Then, the tension starts building up through the rising action, taking us all the way to the climax. That's the ultimate highest tension turning point. After that massive peak, things cool down through the falling action, and we finally land at the resolution where the whole central conflict is wrapped up. But hey, what's actually driving that rising action? Conflict. A story without some kind of struggle is just dead in its tracks. Let's break down the two main types. Internal conflict is completely psychological. It's the battle going on inside a character's own mind, like wrestling with a really tough moral choice. External conflict, on the other hand, is when our character fights an outside force. That could be a raging river, a corrupt society, or even a fire-breathing dragon. Figure out the struggle, and you've figured out the story. Section 2. Poetry and root magic. With our basic weapons equipped, we're moving deeper into the dungeon. Now we're looking at the structural, almost spell-like building blocks of language itself. And honestly, this is kind of like finding a cheat code for English. Unlocking just a few Greek and Latin roots works like a master key. If you know that bio means life and graph means to write, you can decode hundreds of unknown words without ever touching a dictionary. Seaport, something's being carried, like transport. Spot dict, someone is speaking, like in dictate. You're literally deciphering ancient linguistic runes. Now let's see how this magic builds into artistic expression with figurative language. This is when writers totally step away from literal, everyday facts to create a really powerful artistic effect. So instead of just saying, the sky was cloudy and the moon was bright, a writer might say, the moon was a ghostly galleon tossed upon cloudy seas. Obviously, the moon isn't actually a pirate ship, but it paints this incredibly vivid, emotional picture in your mind that plain old facts just can't pull off. So the real trick here is knowing the difference between the two biggest comparison tools in a writer's toolkit. It's a classic challenge from our Dungeons Forbidden library. A metaphor demands total fusion. It directly states one thing is another, like life is a journey. A simile is a bit more polite about it. It openly admits it's making the comparison by using the words like or as. Life is like a journey. Getting this distinction down gives you a massive edge in analyzing how writers play with imagery. Section 3. Surviving the chamber riddles. All right, time to put our arsenal to the ultimate test. We're descending into the interactive chambers, where some pretty monstrous guardians are waiting to challenge us with riddles. Deep in the beast's lair, a 3-headed chimera blocks your path. It asks, a boy wizard who defeats a dark lord through love. A runaway slave who learns freedom must be claimed. A wandering soldier discovering home is a feeling, not a place. The chimera wants you to look way beyond this surface plot. What's the hidden, deeper element connecting these totally different tales?
If you said theme, you get to keep your hit points. See, a theme is never just a single simple word like friendship or bravery. It has to be a complete statement, a universal truth about the human experience that the author wants to share with the world. Great readers don't just follow the action on the surface. They dig down and extract that deeper meaning beneath it all.
Let's keep moving into the Crypt of Echoes.
Here we find a dusty journal entry from a fallen adventurer. He noticed how different people described the exact same group of armed men. One person called them warriors, another called them thugs, and another called them soldiers. Technically, they all just mean an armed person, right? But they make us feel completely different things. Warrior sounds heroic, thug sounds criminal, and soldier feels very formal and structured. The adventurer was warning us about connotation. This is that emotional weight or cultural shadow that kind of hovers around a word. It is totally different from denotation, which is just the cold, literal dictionary definition. Writers weaponize connotation all the time to make you feel a specific way about a character or situation without ever explicitly telling you how to feel. It's sneaky but brilliant. Here is another riddle from the crypt. Imagine two letters written about the exact same village fire. The village mayor calls it devastating and an irreplaceable loss, but his political rival calls it a minor disruption and a chance to rebuild. The facts of the fire are completely identical. So, what literary force is changing the entire reality of these two letters? The answer is tone. Tone is simply the author's personal attitude toward the subject, and it's revealed entirely through their deliberate word choice. The mayor's tone is grief-stricken, right? While the rival's tone is totally dismissive. Understanding tone means you get the emotional relationship the writer has with the information they're giving you. It's an absolutely crucial skill.
Section 4, the final boss battle.
Well, we've survived the chambers. The air is growing cold, and the room ahead is lit only by crackling purple lightning. We have arrived in the final boss chamber to face the word lich. This is the ultimate test. The word lich, this towering skeleton draped in robes of stolen words, floats before you holding the glowing lexicon of ages. He hisses a challenge that's broken thousands of scholars before you. Every word ever written has a reason. Name the 3 reasons every word is written. Let's save our remaining HP and beat this guy. The secret answer here is author's purpose, and the easiest way to defeat the lich is to just remember your pie. Persuade, inform, entertain. Authors write to persuade you to change your beliefs. They write to inform and teach you factual concepts. Or they write to entertain and pull you in through narrative and emotion. Literally every text on Earth falls into this architecture. Now for the final blow. The lich tries to trip you up on the difference between a topic and a central idea. A novice reader might say, oh, this text is about penguins, but that's just a one-word topic. A master scholar knows the central idea is the complete, controlling argument of the text, something like, penguins demonstrate adaptive intelligence. It's the actual heart of what the text is saying, the claim that all the evidence works together to prove. And with that, boom, the lich is defeated. The dungeon is officially conquered. So, word scholars, checking the source's scholar rank guide, if we were tracking your hit points through those riddles, where did you end up? Did you survive with enough HP to be a master wordsmith, totally ready for any reading test? Or are you a journeyman who maybe needs just a little more practice? Hey, whichever rank you got, every mistake in the dungeon is really just a lesson for your next adventure. And that brings us to the end of our explainer. But I want to leave you with one final provocative thought before you go. You've just unlocked an incredible arsenal today. Conflict, theme, connotation, tone, the absolute magic of roots and structure. So, are you going to use these tools just to pass an academic test? Or will you use this knowledge to look deeper at the media you consume, understand the motivations of the people around you, and masterfully conquer the narrative of your very own life? The choice is entirely yours. Keep exploring and keep learning.